Welcome, folks, to the next episode of Taking in the Outdoors. Nothing we like to do more, right? So let's get right on to it. Here we go. Well, folks, here we are. We're taking in the outdoors. This episode, the wonders of weather. Oh boy, I'll tell you what. When you're in the great outdoors, what has the greatest impact on us typically? The weather. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And one thing I try to encourage people is to how to learn to take in the weather. Don't let the weather get you down. Don't let the weather scare you away. I've gone camping many times in the rain and enjoyed those camps as much as any other. I've been in camps when storms have come upon us. Some of them heavy, not real heavy storms. That turns into quite the adventure. But the milder storms, those can be quite, in a sense, entertaining. Now in the background you see, excuse me, in the background you see a scene that this is a scene that looks just like the way it did out front of our cottage that we would rent the same cottage every year up on a lake in northern Minnesota. And that lake was considered one of the gateways to the Boundary Waters canoe area. Now from our cottage, as you looked out, this is what you saw. You saw an adjacent shoreline and an open horizon, going off. And this would be looking north, okay? Now, everything from here, north, was Boundary Waters canoe area. Thousands and thousands, I should say tens and tens of thousands of acres of beautiful, pristine backcountry, lakes, rivers, forests, beautiful. Well, from our cottage, there was very often storms would cross the Boundary Waters. They'd start over here to the west and work their way to the east across Boundary Waters. Many times we were outside of the storm and we could see these storms crossing the Boundary Waters. And we would get lightning shows like you see in the background behind me all the time. And it was absolutely beautiful. In the evenings, we'd go set our chairs out by just 16 feet from the front door of our cottage was the water's edge. And we would sit out there and we'd watch those storms pass through. Absolutely beautiful. You'd sit there and it's quiet. You can hear a few birds chirping, blah, blah, blah. A chipmunk scurrying through the brush, things like that. A little bit of the water slapping against the rock out front of our cottage. But the one thing that you really noticed was the far distant rumble of the thunder associated with that lightning storm as it passed over Boundary Waters canoe area. And you'd sit there and you hear that drumming sound of that thunder, ba-boom, 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 boom, boom. And you could sit there for hours and take that in. Now I had a lot of people say, well, once you've seen a lightning storm, you've seen them all. Oh, that's so far from the truth. That is so far from the truth. I have never sat and watched a storm pass and never had any one be the same. They're like snowflakes. They're all unique in their own way. Now, what usually happens, you see a big storm coming through like that. People get nervous, they get scared. Well, in a sense, that makes sense. And they want to take cover. Well, I'm not going to take cover until it's going to be a risk, okay? I'm going to stay out there and enjoy it. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to take it in. And I suggest anybody do that. Now, I've seen tornadoes. I've seen twisters going across the prairie. I lived through a tornado, direct hit on our community. That one I didn't like. I can truly remember the sky as that storm was reaching us. But from that point on, we knew there was a tornado coming. We took shelter. Then you see nothing. But up to that point, where we needed to take shelter, what a wonder to watch how that storm developed, and it turned itself into a tornado. Now, that's the one thing about the wonder of weather. You have soft weather, you have moderate weather, you've got severe weather, then you have catastrophic weather. You have to learn how to take in all forms of weather. Now, things like a hurricane, I do not recommend that you sit out in your front yard and watch a hurricane hit you. No, I'm not suggesting that. However, I would suggest that if you are in a safe location and you can observe it coming in, and you get to the point where you need to shelter in place, you need to be sheltered, that you do it with plenty of time, that you do not take any risks, but take in as much as you can of that weather, because it's a phenomenon that is ever changing. It changes constantly. And it's a one-time opportunity, because that exact storm will never happen again. Every storm is different. Every storm is absolutely different. Now, on the soft weather is like in the spring. You've got a mild day. You've spent a whole winter hovering around freezing or below freezing, sometimes sub-zero. Spent that whole winter, and then spring comes along. The snow is gone. It's in the 60 degrees range. Grass is growing, flowers are popping up, and the air feels warm to you because you spent a long winter. It's so relaxing. That weather, just sit sometimes and just say, oh Lord, this weather can't be beat. This is beautiful. Just sitting here, feeling that weather. Well, and then you've got your wet and rainy months. It's muddy, it's rainy. Doesn't mean that you can't go out. They make rain suits for that. Put a good hat on or an umbrella and go take yourself a walk in the rain. And check the sky out. Maybe it's just a flat gray, but it's an experience all of its own. Take it in. And then I talked about some of the extreme weather, tornadoes, hurricanes, things of that nature. And like I said, catch what you can, but don't be unsafe. Be ready to shelter yourself from that weather. Then you have the moderate weather, the occasional thunderstorm, lightning storms in the distance. Don't ignore them. Watch them. Watch them. If they're at a safe distance passing by, take it in. Get out there and take in the wonders of weather. Now, the one thing that's a fact, man has a power over almost everything nowadays. We have the power to go out there and, oh my gosh, we can go out there and say, we're going to remove that forest. Forest is gone. We can go out there and say, Well, you see that big little mountain or big hill? We're going to bulldoze that down. We're going to flatten it out. We can go out there and do that. We can go out there and change what nature created in so many ways. We can dam rivers and turn them into lakes. We can do so many different things to affect our environment. The one thing we cannot control is that weather. You have a major storm coming your way, you can't stop it. It's going to be what it's going to be. Mother Nature is going to have her way, and usually it's with storms or other large natural disasters that man cannot control. So for me, to watch the wonder of weather and take it all in is getting that much closer to the great outdoors. It's exhilarating, it's beautiful, it can be severely damaging, but that's why I say, take it in, but play it safe. Make sure you've got somewhere you can take cover. Don't put yourself at risk, but take in what's available to you. So I would love to go plop myself back up in Boundary Waters Canoe area during thunderstorm season and watch those thunderstorms roll over the Boundary Waters again and listen to the thunder in the distance. I would love it. I'd do it right this moment if I could. But right now, there's still ice on the lakes up in northern Minnesota, so it ain't happening now. But maybe this summer Sty's going to sneak out, get up in the northern Minnesota region and enjoy the sand. Now, I've done it here in northern Wisconsin along Lake Superior, looking out over the big lake. I mean, we're talking Superior's a big lake, and storms will roll across Lake Superior at times. And you're perfectly safe on land. It's not storming on land. It's all out on the big body of water. And you just watch those big storms cross the big lake. That's another very interesting thing to do. Yeah. So get out there, take it in, and you can take in the wonders of weather right from your home, looking out your window. So there's an opportunity to take in the outdoors with minimal impact. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I hope you get that opportunity. I want to thank everybody for showing up. I hope you enjoyed this topic. We're going to move on. We're going to get another one pounded out. We're just going to keep this thing rolling. And until the next episode, I want you all to go out and enjoy the wonders of weather. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.